welcome to the fourth and final review of the evening. Right, up this time is a game called 200 Ways. So I'm supposed to clarify why is this called 200 Ways? Well, one, it's because there are 200 levels, and two, it's the sequel to 100 Ways. And what ways are you guiding in this? Well, marbles. Anyway, 200 Ways is the sequel to the successful brain teaser 100 Ways. Gives puzzle fans twice as many mental challenges to overcome. The mission of each of its 200 levels sound easy. Guide one or more balls to the exit, but levels with up to 3 different layers and numerous ball traps don't make this task a walk in the park. Luckily, players can use their dozens of tools to help them reach their goal. But using more tools means their level score will go down. Yeah. So more specifically, this is what you get if you combined Marble Madness with SimCity, or some sort of PC, stuff where you put down objects via a mouse, because that's the rub here. You are guiding a marble to a goal. Initially one, more will show up later. Admittedly, I got about 40 levels in before honestly just getting bored with the game. But, it's never a straight, hit the go button and it'll get there. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a game. You've got to figure out how to get the ball to the goal using the tools that you are provided. I think I unlocked about 10. And things do get more tricky as the levels progress. Though that being said, there are some spikes. There were some levels that got really hard, and then the next one was insanely easy. That might be a breather thing, but the gradual thing, not really. Anyway, the base challenge is to figure out how to get the ball to the end of the stage. The greater challenge is figuring out how to get the ball to the goal while still having enough coin to get a silver or gold medal. And that's important because in order to actually unlock more level packs, they come in packs of 10, you need to get 5 silvers from a stage, or maybe more. It does depend on what you go. As far as environmental stuff goes, not really concerned. I got to the lava stages. Lava wasn't really a concern. Mm-hmm. It's more about what the course is doing. And what's in terms of physics, you do have to keep track of speed. That's why it's got a speedometer on the left side of the screen. Speed means will do different things in different contexts. A lot of the time, it doesn't really matter how fast your ball goes, but if you're dealing with hazards like ice or gravel, which will slow you down, if you slow down too much, you will lose. Or dealing with a later level hazard, magnets. Magnets will pull you off the course unless you're going 50 miles per hour. And that can be combined with another hazard, and that is course turns, which have to be approached at 40 miles per hour. That's actually where I got not necessarily stuck, but where things got fairly elaborate. And that is about that's the meat and potatoes of the game.
So when it says you have tools,
right,
versus there being in set up courses, what when you start playing this or on a stage, what is there to start with, and what do you add or change?
Well, the things that you add or change are things like a rubber band, which will bounce the ball into another direction. Let's see, 3 different speed boosters. One faster than the last. Let's see, catapult, which is important for actually changing the direction of your ball. Like, trying to remember, springs, that gets you over holes. And I think that's about what I had unlocked at that particular point, but I think you get the gist of what they provide you.
Yeah, I'm just initially looking at this thing with all these loop-de-loops and fans and cranes that pick things up and move them. I'm wondering, like, okay, so how much of this was here to start with, and what did the players do with anything?
Oh no, those are all pre-built.
But could you like use the spring to, in addition to get overhaul, you could use a spring to make you ignore a loop-de-loop or something.
Yes, I'm not sure about a loop-de-loop, but
that's a bad example.
Fans, tunnels, that kind of thing. Yes, you can do that, and you're probably going to have to do that on certain levels. So, but the levels themselves, they're pre-made. The obstacles, like fans, are an obstacle. In fact, there are certain levels where it's all fans, where you've got to figure out which fans get you into the right direction to the end goal.
Right.
So, all of that's provided. And as far as I know, there's no level editor in this, which is actually a bit surprising.
Unless you only unlock it after beating the game or something, which would be kind of dumb.
Yeah, I'm like, put it to you this way. It's not mentioned in the bullet points of the marketing materials, so it's not there. This is the kind of game that will advertise, like, here's another hint that it doesn't do this. It doesn't have Steam Workshop support. That is absolutely the kind of thing you hook up to the Steam Workshop. And yeah, how it works as a game, it's fairly relaxing, but also fairly meticulous. Like unless you look up a guide, which do exist online, there are YouTube guides for full hundreds.
And as it suggests, there's definitely more than one way to solve a lot of these things, but like you're going for doing it with as few changes to the stage as possible, generally.
Right. What I'm saying is, like, you can look up a guide, but that honestly kind of robbing you of the experience here. The game is all about figuring out how to beat the level with the tools provided, and just going to look it up. Yeah, you beat the level, but did you really accomplish anything? Arguably no. I mean, I admittedly used the guide in a few places, but here's the thing: I am reviewing the game, and getting stuck can be precarious. Yeah, I will admit I didn't beat the game or anything, but we rarely beat the games here. Like, it's more getting a sense of enough of the game, and 40 levels was good for seeing what the game had to offer. And it will increase, like, it's not just an addition. I've seen other things, like when it comes to multiple marbles, it's not just having like 2 or 3. They can be different colors. You have to get the blue marble to the blue flag, and so on and so forth.
And not have them collide with each other, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's all very brain teasy and puzzle solvy, and it's good, solid workmanship here. It's nothing flashy, it's nothing amazing. The graphics get the job done and all that stuff. The sound, honestly, I ended up muting. It was a tad grating after a bit of time. But that's probably the worst thing I can say about it. Like I said, game clocks in at $14.99, and it is in a bundle. But the problem is, since I have the bundle, half of the game, it's registering at $7.49. Like that's not the price. Like I'm not exactly sure what the price of the bundle is, but like as far as this game worth it on it, is it worth it on its own? Yes. It's it's like if provided you don't. That's another thing. Like if you delve into the gold guides, it's gonna be a lot shorter. Like than if you, because this game is meant to be played by you constantly hitting the button, the play button, seeing where the marble goes, figuring out what items need to be placed where, and seeing if that works. That's the game. And I really would encourage people to not rob themselves of that. But, you can play it your way. And as far as 100 ways, probably we're not strictly reviewing this. But, since it's a sequel to this is a sequel to that game, and this is more of that, and more of that is good. I can say less of that is probably going to be, less good, but still good. Any other questions, comments, or concerns over 200 ways?
I think really. I'm good.
All right. So, yeah, that'll about do it for this not just this review, but this Fragments of Silicon review session. The week ahead. So, let's see. Only a Wednesday show this week. We did have a Friday show scheduled, but that got canceled. The guest is having some scheduling issues of indeterminate origin, in the sense that he's not telling me why he's not being available, but he hasn't fully given up on the interview prospect yet. Anyway, on Wednesday, October 20th, we will be welcoming Jason Smith of Jazzos Games. They are currently building the boomer shooter Cultic. So if you don't know what a boomer shooter is, at least in the modern parlance, they are new FPS games made up to look like old FPS games in one fashion or another. And Cultic definitely fits the bill. Try to guess which game this is cribbing the most off of in terms of 90s PC shooters.
Duke Nukem?
Nope.
I don't know.
The answer is Blood. That it's in the name, but I guess you kind of have to know the scene to get that.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna have a good guess. I figured I was wrong, so I figured I might as well be as wrong as possible.
You weren't that wrong, honestly. Like, Duke Nukem 3D is a good stab in the dark when it comes to this subgenre, quite honestly. Like, you'd expect it to come up a far sight more than Blood. But, make no mistake, Duke Nukem 3D is an influence on this game. There are a lot of influences, but, when you look at the game, it's definitely looking the most like Blood. It looks kind of weird because, it's going for an old school vibe, but I'm trying to remember if it uses like Unity or Unreal. A lot of these games use that, and you can cover up some of the let's say modernity of those engines, but not all of it. It's not like Herat, which is a Eastern European FPS, which is using its own custom engine, which looks like it came from the late 90s. I mean, it really nails the art aesthetic. Also worth noting that it might be worth checking out our interview on Wednesday because, well, there are surprises being planned for this. Like, more on that in a few days. Mm-hmm. But let's see. We do have a new episode of The Last News Desk on Left planned. So look forward to that. Granted, not many seem to be looking forward to that. I think including a bit of the staff from what I'm getting, but that's neither here nor there.
You know how Mac is. He always gets upset when something he's doing starts not getting as many numbers.
I know, but and he's also doing the, he's tapping out basically. But we'll talk about that more at the end of the season. But we got about 5 more episodes to go on Last News Desk, season 2. Anyway, until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.